I always thought that when a marriage crumbles, it happens slowly, little cracks forming over time, small fights adding up until the love just fades away. I never expected mine to explode in a single, humiliating moment. And I sure as hell didn't expect my own wife, the woman I built a life with, to not only betray me but to try and paint me as the villain just to cover up her affair. We had been married for 7 years. No major fights, no real warning signs. At least, none that I could see. Then one day, out of nowhere, my wife, Lisa, tells me she's feeling trapped and needs some space. What does that even mean? I asked her, trying to keep my voice calm. She sighed, looking at me like I was some clueless idiot. It just means I need time to think, to be alone for a bit. This wasn't some girlfriend-boyfriend situation where she could just take a break. We were married. We owned a house together. We had plans, kids, retirement, the whole thing. Are you saying you want to separate? I pressed. No. She shook her head quickly. Just space. I had my suspicions. A man always does. But I didn't have proof, and I wasn't the kind of guy to jump to conclusions. So, stupidly, I backed off. I thought maybe she was just going through something, that she'd come around. She started staying out late, claiming she was visiting friends. She put a password on her phone, something she never did before. And the intimacy? Gone. Completely gone. It was like living with a stranger. One night, she didn't come home at all. I tried calling. Straight to voicemail. At around 3 a.m., she finally responded to my texts. I stayed at Emily's. I told you I needed space. Emily? Emily lives in another state. I didn't say anything. I just took a deep breath and started planning. Because at this point, I knew. I wasn't going to sit around like some clueless husband while she played me for a fool. A couple of days later, Lisa said she was going out for coffee alone. I wasn't buying it. So, I did something I never thought I'd do. I followed her. She drove to a hotel. Not some 5-star luxury resort, just a cheap place on the outskirts of town. And guess who was waiting for her in the parking lot? A guy. Tall, muscular, with that cocky stance that screamed homewrecker. I watched her laugh as he pulled her into his arms. Then they kissed. Not just a quick peck. A deep, passionate, betrayal-sealing kiss. I should have walked up and confronted them right then and there. But instead, I pulled out my phone and started recording. I needed proof. Not because I was planning to take her back. Not a chance in hell. But because I knew her. I knew Lisa wasn't just going to admit to what she was doing. She was going to lie. She was going to twist things. And I had a feeling she wasn't going to let me leave this marriage on my terms. The next day, I confronted her. I showed her the video. At first, she tried to deny it. That's not what it looks like. Oh, really? Because it looks like you were sucking face with some guy outside a motel? Her expression changed. The guilt flickered for a moment before she turned angry. Like I was the one in the wrong. You were spying on me? That's insane. You're insane, she shouted. Oh, I'm insane? I'm insane? You're cheating on me, Lisa. She just crossed her arms. I told you I needed space. You needed space? Or you needed a place to screw your boyfriend? That's when she lost it. She stormed off, grabbed her purse, and left. I expected a fight. Maybe a screaming match. Maybe even a pathetic apology. But I wasn't prepared for what happened next. The following morning, a sheriff showed up at my door with a restraining order. Lisa had filed a claim that I was emotionally abusive and that she felt unsafe around me. Unsafe? The only person who should be unsafe here was her boyfriend. I wasn't allowed within 500 feet of my own home, my own house, the place I paid for. And just like that, she had the upper hand. I stood there on my own doorstep, staring at the sheriff, trying to process what the hell just happened. A restraining order? Against me? I hadn't laid a finger on Lisa. I hadn't even yelled at her. The only thing I was guilty of was catching her red-handed. The sheriff looked uncomfortable, like he had seen this kind of thing before. "Look, man," he sighed, handing me the paperwork. "I don't know the details, but she claimed emotional abuse and that she's afraid for her safety. That means you gotta leave the property." "I own this house," I argued. "My name is on the mortgage." "Doesn't matter," he said, shaking his head. "This is a temporary order, effective immediately. You need to find somewhere else to stay." I clenched my fists. Not at him. He was just doing his job, but at her. Lisa, the woman I had built a life with, the woman I had supported through everything, had not only cheated on me, but now she was trying to make me look like the bad guy. I packed a bag and called my best friend, Mike. "Dude, I need a place to crash," I told him. "Oh man, what happened?" "She cheated on me, and now she's got a restraining order against me." "What the F **K? I didn't even know how to explain it. Lisa was smart. She didn't want a clean breakup where she had to admit her mistakes. No, she needed to control the narrative. She needed me gone, legally. That way, when the divorce came, she could paint herself as the poor, innocent wife who had been terrified of her husband. And the worst part? People believed her. The news spread like wildfire. Apparently, Lisa had been telling her friends that I had become controlling and manipulative. "I was so scared of him," she told them. Scared? Of me? The guy who never raised his voice, who had done nothing but try to make things work. Her friends, people I had known for years, started looking at me differently. Some stopped talking to me altogether. Even at work, I felt the side eyes, the judgment. I wasn't just a betrayed husband anymore. I was now the bad guy. And Lisa? She was living comfortably in my house, probably laughing about how easily she had gotten rid of me. I wasn't about to let her get away with this. I had the video. I had proof of her cheating. And if she wanted to play dirty, then I was more than ready to return the favor. Step 1. I lawyered up. Mike put me in touch with a divorce attorney, one of the best in town. A tough, no-nonsense guy named Tom Reynolds. After I explained everything, Tom leaned back in his chair, shaking his head. "Jesus, she played this perfectly. But don't worry. You have proof. That video? It's going to be huge in court. What about the restraining order?" I asked. Tom smirked. "We'll fight it. These things are easy to file, but without real evidence, they don't last. Judges see through this kind of **T all the time." Finally, I felt like I had a shot. Lisa thought she had one. She thought she had everything. My house, my reputation, my dignity. She had no idea I was about to take it all back. A few days later, I was at Mike's, trying to keep my head together, when I got a text from an unknown number. It was Lisa's boyfriend, the guy from the hotel. "Hey man, just so you know, Lisa and I are together now. You need to move on." I stared at the message, my blood boiling. This piece of **T had the audacity to message me? I wanted to respond. I wanted to meet him face to face and make him regret ever sending that text. But I took a deep breath. No, that's what they wanted. They wanted me to lose my temper, to prove Lisa right. So instead, I did the last thing they expected. I stayed calm. I focused. And I prepared for war. I sat there, gripping my phone so hard I thought it would crack. Lisa's boyfriend, the guy who helped ruin my marriage, had the nerve to text me, telling me to move on. Like I was the one who had done something wrong. Like he won. But I didn't respond. I refused to play their game. I had already lost my home, my reputation, and almost my sanity. But now, I was fighting back. Lisa thought she was smart. Thought that filing a temporary restraining order would keep me away long enough for her to control the divorce. But what she didn't realize was that temporary orders don't last without evidence. So I did what I should have done from the start. I let my lawyer handle it. At the hearing, Lisa put on her best damsel in distress act. I was so scared, she told the judge, her voice trembling. He was becoming aggressive. He was following me. Then my lawyer stood up. Your Honor, we have video evidence that Mrs. Last Name was cheating on her husband while she was claiming to need space. Here she is, at a hotel, kissing another man. We also have phone records showing that she was the one lying about her whereabouts. He handed over the evidence. The judge barely even looked at Lisa before dismissing the restraining order. Boom. Lisa lost. And not only that, but her lies were officially on record. The same people who whispered behind my back, the same friends who believed her stories, saw the truth. Suddenly, the narrative started shifting. Maybe Lisa wasn't the victim. Maybe she was just a lying, cheating piece of garbage. Lisa didn't want to just cheat and leave. She wanted to take everything, the house, the car, even part of my retirement savings. But guess what? With my video, my lawyer made sure the judge knew exactly what happened. And since Lisa had filed the restraining order under false pretenses that actually worked against her, she wanted half of everything. She walked away with almost nothing. The house? Mine. The car? Mine. Her boyfriend? Well, that was her only consolation prize. You see, Lisa had been playing this game so well that she thought she was untouchable. But she forgot something. People love a scandal. She was the type who thrived on attention. She wanted to be the poor, innocent wife who had escaped her abusive husband. But once people saw the truth, she became a joke. She lost friends. Some of them even apologized to me after realizing how badly they had misjudged the situation. Her social circle? Gone. And the cherry on top? Her boyfriend dumped her. Turns out, he wasn't interested in being in a long-term relationship with a woman who had no house, no money, and a reputation as a manipulative liar. She tried reaching out to me after the divorce. Just some pathetic, half-assed message about how she was in a tough spot and needed help. I didn't even respond. She thought she had one. Thought she had me trapped. Thought she could rewrite history. Instead, she lost everything. And me? I walked away with my life back. Lisa thought she was the master manipulator. She thought she could cheat, lie, steal my home, ruin my name, and walk away unscathed. She thought she was clever, playing the victim while she stabbed me in the back. But in the end, she played herself. After her new man dumped her, big surprise there, Lisa must have finally realized the gravity of her mistakes. No house, no car, no financial security, and the entire town knew what she did. She was poison to everyone who had once supported her. Then, out of nowhere, she texted me, "Hey, can we talk?" I stared at my phone. The audacity of this woman. She followed it up with, "I know things got really bad between us, but I just want to clear the air. Maybe we can be friends?" Friends? The woman who betrayed me, lied to the court, tried to steal my house, and ruined my reputation. Now she wanted to be friends? I didn't even respond. I didn't even care enough to say, "Go to hell." I just let the message sit there, unread. 2 weeks later, another message. "I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I made some mistakes. I let people get in my head. I wish we could go back to how things used to be." Oh, now she wants to take responsibility? Funny, because she wasn't sorry when she was sneaking around behind my back. She wasn't sorry when she filed a false restraining order. She wasn't sorry when she tried to steal my house. She was only sorry now, when she had lost everything. I ignored her again. I was at a bar with some buddies when I saw her. She looked rough. Nothing like the woman I had married. She had lost weight, not in a good way. Her face was tired. Her makeup wasn't covering the stress. She saw me and walked over like she actually thought I'd be happy to see her. "Hey," she said, giving me a small smile. "Can we talk?" I took a sip of my drink, glanced at her, and said, "About what?" She hesitated. I wanted to say I regret how things ended between us. I wasn't in a good place, and I know I hurt you. I just hope. I cut her off. "You hope what, Lisa? That I'll forgive you? That I'll give you some sympathy? That I'll pretend you didn't try to destroy me?" She looked around nervously, like she wasn't expecting me to call her out. "Look, I know I messed up, but—" I laughed, right in her face. "You didn't just mess up. You tried to ruin my life, Lisa. And for what? Some dude who dumped you the second you became inconvenient?" She looked like she wanted to cry, but I wasn't falling for it. "Enjoy your life, Lisa," I said, finishing my drink. "Oh wait, you don't have one anymore, do you?" And with that, I turned my back on her, just like she had turned her back on me. I moved on, found a woman who actually loves and respects me, built a better life without Lisa's toxicity. Lisa? She's still stuck in the past, regretting every stupid, selfish choice she made. She threw away a good man for a cheap thrill, and now she has nothing. And that's karma.